Hi, toxic girl group stan here. I'm going to keep it short, but today I'll be ranking all these groups for fun. I won't declare this video to be fully objective, because let's be honest, no matter how unbiased I want to be, there will always be a hint of personal preference. Which is why you are free to share your thoughts down the comments. Whether we agree or not, this is a discussion after all, and I am looking forward to hearing your opinions. Please enjoy the video. You know, I could have just showed my ranking and call it a day, but you know that we don't do that here. Each group on this list excels at something more than the other, so I can't really just rank them based on gut feeling. I wanted to go in depth with this, watching videos to analyze, so I took my precious time doing exactly that. But before we begin, let me introduce to you our candidates. I chose these set of groups because they are currently the ones fighting for that Rookie of the Year title. The competition is fierce, and I would like to see which group could possibly take home the award. Anyways, here are the groups.
You got me looking for attention. You got me looking for attention. What you looking at? 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 I'm fearless, huh? You should get away, get away. That's your chillin'.
We'll be evaluating all these groups by their concepts, vocals, choreography, performance, and discography, which we'll then average to determine the final ranking. I'll also be rating them in these categories so that you can see the difference more accurately. Anyways, let's actually begin the video now. Concepts aren't really important down the line of one's career, but concepts are something that can attract people, especially for new groups. It's what makes this genre unique in the first place. So coming at fifth and dead last for me is none other than NMIX. Here's the official description for their concept.
Made up of the letter N, meaning now, new, close, and the unknown variable N, and the word mix, which symbolizes diversity. The name NMIX suggests the girls are the next best thing, the best combination for a new era.
Basically just a fancier way of saying messy if you ask me. You may say that they just debuted and you can't really judge it all based on that. But let me remind you that the other four groups debuted with a clean and understandable vision. So saying they just debuted isn't and shouldn't be an excuse. This was just simply a poorly executed and uninspired concept. Even their latest teaser shows exactly that. Which is why I think this is the worst out of all. Kepler's concept is definitely a space-related concept, there's no doubt about it. My only question is, where the fuck is the space? What happened to the original plot of the movie? Or perhaps Kepler is just one of those groups who just does anything and everything. Which is completely fine. The only problem I see is that they won't always fit a said concept. That's the problem with these survival show groups. The members were chosen by the people and not a producer. Meaning each member has their own strengths and weaknesses, and usually wouldn't complement each other. Some may be more into cuter stuff, while others are more mature stuff. It's pretty inconsistent when it comes to these groups, which is why I'll rank them at 4th. I absolutely adore their concept. This whole Y2K concept isn't the most original thing ever. It's been used countless of times before, even out of K-pop. But for some reason New Jeans doing it feels so refreshing. Add that with their videos, styling, music, heck even their own website. It's a match made in heaven. If this was more subjective, I'd definitely choose this as my favorite. Fans say their main concept is royalty, which I disagree with heavily, especially with their latest comeback which screams nothing about being royal. If anything, I think their main concept is self-love and confidence. It's just the way they present it is different every time. And for each one of those times, I think they nailed it perfectly. Having this as their main concept makes it easy for them to branch out to different sounds and styles, all while maintaining their image. Definitely deserving of second place. This is a very personal opinion, but I love how fearlessness is their concept. The name captures the group's self-confidence and iron will, as they go out into the world fearlessly, and unwavering, before the watchful eyes of the world. It is like an incantation to guarantee their success on the merit of their unbreakable poise and strength. I think what makes it even better is that the members are actually confident, like actually fearless. Fearless of change, stereotype, attention, adventure, failure, and many more. This is one of the few cases where I think the members really fit and embody a concept, making it more natural and seem less forced. While there may be more interesting and original concepts out there, I think this is the most well executed one on this list, which is why they are first place. Can't really be a singer if you can't sing now, can you? This category isn't necessarily meant for just main vocalists, alright. This is for actual vocals, the sounds that come out of their mouths. I'm talking singing, rapping, ad-libs, all that shit. And coming up at last are the Space Girls. Kepler has some amazing main vocals and main rappers. Their main vocalists and rappers at their best are really great. They can hit notes and all, while the rappers have a pretty great flow and tone. But that'd be the end of my praise. For the other members, I think they could still do some work to be better. Some of their voices sound dry and lack emotion from time to time. But overall they sound and sing like any typical girl group, so it's not that big of a deal for me. I don't think they are vocally lacking, but if I were to put them above the other groups, it just wouldn't feel right. But fear not, cause they are not dead last. They are tied with the Fromis. I really think Garam was a great asset, especially for their vocal line. If I were to rank them as a 6-member group, they'd definitely be at second place. But she is no longer with the group, so it's only fair to not include her. Which would make it harder to evaluate since they don't have any songs with just the 5 of them. Their remaining vocal line still sounds amazing, don't get me wrong. But as a group I don't think they're all that. I also can't really evaluate their rappers cause I don't consider any of them as rappers, but more like members who were forced to rap cause they aren't as good at singing, and apparently K-pop groups need rappers, so yeah. Maybe the other members can train more to compensate for the loss of Garam, but for now they don't deserve to be higher up. I usually don't mind it, but in a ranking video where I have to be critical, I think it was necessary to be strict. I didn't want to mention names, but Ray Eugene and Liz definitely carries this group vocally for me. It's not an IVE song if their voices aren't present. As a group in general, I think they have a nice sound. They fit their songs well, which definitely enhances everything about them as a group. Not that the other members' voices are bad too, I just think they are pretty average, so I can't really praise them much. I also don't like how they distribute their lines. I really believe some lines are better sung by another member. I don't understand why they just wouldn't do that. But like I said, overall, they have a nice sound, so I'm not that mad about it. They are in third place because I think these next 2 groups are more balanced. New Jeans at second for me. This group literally debuted 10 seconds ago and yet they already have some of my favorite vocals. I am in love with their tone and how they sing their songs. They have only 4 songs but each one efficiently showcases the diversity of their vocals. And the fact that they are still young means they'll continue to improve much more in the future. That's all my words for them. I absolutely can't wait for their next comeback. And for top 1, do I even have to explain? They are so confident in their vocals that they've been showing it to us even before their debut. Their songs really do not give them any justice, which is why I recommend watching all their covers, especially the pre-debut ones. Because if that doesn't convince you, I think nothing will. No doubt, first place in vocals. Honestly, after watching all their dance practices, I don't think I'll be able to rank these. One reason being I'm not a dancer, and two, I believe all of them were amazingly choreographed and executed. Even if I rank these, it would only be a point difference. But if you are curious about it, here are my rankings. IVE's style is more on the elegant side. It's not very dancey, yet it's very satisfying to watch. All their choreographies match their songs perfectly. And once again, I am not a dancer, but I think they have the easiest routines out of everyone. Add that with some of their iconic moveset, their choreographies are something K-pop fans will love to learn. Simple yet effective, that's what I'd describe their dance. New Jeans definitely has a unique style for their choreography. Lots of hair flipping and emoting here and there, with some prop usage too. It's definitely not the typical K-pop style we're used to. It's very flowy, active, and overall just fun to watch, and probably fun to dance as well. For Kep1er, one thing's for sure, they're definitely a group capable of dancing, like really capable. Their choreographies are very energetic, especially with their latest comeback, Up. I don't think there was a moment they got to rest during that whole dance. Their choreography is something that will definitely leave you breathless even just by watching it. But if we're talking detail and precision, I don't think anyone beats this group. Clean, smooth, yet still very powerful. These girls do not miss a single beat ever. All very synchronized, with not one member falling behind. I believe sserafim will become a group known for their amazing dancing in the near future, and I'm definitely looking forward to witness it with my own eyes. Skill-wise, I think no one beats NMIXX. Their choreography is for sure inspired by boy group dancing. The hard-hitting, gut-pounding dancing we all know and love from boy groups. But not only that, they also excel at clean and detailed choreographies. You have to be very agile when dancing to any NMIXX songs, because you'll most likely break a bone or two if you aren't. I'm not saying that these last two categories are the most important ones, but I kind of am. I really think if you lack in these two, your skills and talents are for nothing. This is K-pop music after all, not Korea's Got Talent. And I am well aware some of these groups barely have any songs. But don't worry, this video isn't meant to determine any of these groups' careers moving forward. In fact, this video will probably be irrelevant in the next few months. This is mainly for fun. Plus, it would also be nice to look back and reminisce how everything was, and see how much these groups have grown. Anyways, for the second to the last category, we have the group's discography. And coming in at last, we have NMIXX. Poor NMIXX, they didn't deserve this. I actually enjoy both of their songs if I'm being honest, especially Tank. But over the songs from other groups? Come on, you'd be lying. There's actually no way you choose these two songs over the others, songs that are actually properly produced and with a purpose. If NMIXX continues to make messy shitty banger music, fine, I actually wouldn't mind. But in no way I'm gonna praise it that much. I have my limits even as a K-pop fan. I really hope this next comeback of theirs is actual genuinely good music. Praying to God for this to happen. Kep1er music is a bit of a hit or miss for me. It's either I like it, or not at all. Their discography in general is pretty mid. Not bad mid though, but more like good mid. It doesn't really stand out from other groups. In fact, it sounds just most K-pop groups' music. There isn't a specific sound they excel at, which isn't really a problem on its own, but if we're comparing it with the other groups, they are last on the list. Production quality is as expected pretty good. The actual music itself just doesn't have much going on for it. I know this isn't the best they can do, so I am hoping for some kind of improvement in the future. 식사는 없어 배고파도 음료는 없어 songs really reminds me of pre-debut Loona, a group full of vision and passion. Their concept alone is already a standout from other groups. What more so their music. With just 4 songs they already served us everything we needed. With just 4 songs we already know their style and sound. All while still being different from each other. It's not the typical K-pop we're used to hearing, but it doesn't branch out much that it sounds foreign to K-pop fans. Clean production and clean execution. Now if we add that with their concept, this is what we call pretty people music. New Jeans is bringing an iconic era into our modern times through their songs, and I can't wait to see and hear more from them.
욕심을 숨기라니 말들은 이상해 겸손한 연기 같은 건 더 이상 안 해 Cause you will forever win again.
High quality and diverse music. That's what we love in this household. 5 songs, each one different from the other, and yet all still very good. That Fearless album of theirs is genuinely one of the greatest debut albums I've heard, even bias aside. Each song gives off a different feeling and meaning. If you didn't like the whole album you definitely liked at least one song from it. I see sserafim becoming one of those groups to release diverse but still banging music. I'm not even excited anymore, I'm just straight up itching for new music from them. If they just had more songs they'd surely be my top 1.
마음은 이렇게 알다가도 모르지 사랑이라는 건 한순간에 필 테니 직접 들어와 두 눈으로 확인해
But you really can't deny it, I've mixed good fucking music. Good K-pop music to be exact. There's a reason why their music is literally everywhere right now. Starship has basically perfected the formula on how to make iconic K-pop songs. It is not normal for a group to consecutively release 3 Song of the Year contenders in just within a few months, on literally the first day of their job. If I'm being for real, their songs are so far from bad. Yet the thing is, I don't think they make the best music. It's not deep, it's not complex, it's not new, and so on and so forth. Which is fine cause that's not their main goal. They focus on making music that can be enjoyed by almost everyone, and big props to them because it is really hard to impress everyone these days. Personally not my favorite, but I recognize it, which is why they are number 1.
Perfect sacrifice, yeah 숨 참고 love dive
Possibly the most important category. No matter how talented or how good your songs are, if your performances are shit then why even bother? I'm going to be looking into this category as a fan and not as a performer. I know all these groups work hard for their stages, and as a viewer I can't really feel that unless if they show off an amazing performance. All these groups do well on their own, but some were notably better than the others. So for the last time, here are my rankings.
What's after life? You, who, and I is more than like L-time to O-time now, yeah.
As much as I love them I feel like their stages could be a lot better. After Love Dive I feel like their stages have become sloppy. Compare it to their dance practices they look like they are only performing at their 60 to 80% at most. Stage presence as a group is pretty alright though, but some members definitely seem to lack some confidence on stage. There are some instances where they showcase a much better performance, but only sometimes. Their songs and expressions really carry a lot of their performances. They definitely can sing live, but the more they do, the less they dance well. And the more they dance well, the lesser the vocals get. While the highs are high, the lows are also quite low. There isn't really much they do better than the other groups, which is why they are last for me.
Cause I know what you like, boy. You're mine, can't make you like, boy.
New Jeans is the newest one on the list but they left a very good impression on me. Any of their stages are nothing short of enjoyable. The visuals and overall performance are very bubbly and refreshing. Expressions aren't overdone, and they fit the songs they are performing. But I did some cases where a member would just have a blank face. So expressions, while good, still could be a lot better. Their choreography definitely adds a lot to the enjoyability of their stages. Interactive, fun, just overall satisfying to watch as a viewer. Not to mention their live vocals which are amazing. Whether dancing or sitting down, you can leave it up to them to sound like their studio versions. And more importantly, I can tell they enjoy being on stage. All members radiate bright energy, and you can definitely feel their presence on stage. Can't wait for them to get even better.
Open it, boom! Check out, popcorn and zero flow. That's gonna come in. Chaewon
For NMIX, contrast to their music, the performances are surely something you can't miss. First of all, the microphones are on and you can hear them. Second of all, these girls are oozing charisma. Once they set foot on the stage you know what you're getting into, and that's a great performance. Because this is a group not just composed of idols, but performers. Their choreographies can get real intense, yet they still manage to balance both the vocals and dancing. They perform at their 80 to 100% most of the time, which is what I believe all idol groups should strive for. Their only weaknesses for me are that some members outshine the others. The weaker members aren't able to keep up with the main slayers, and I hope to see improvement. Also, facial expressions could be better. The cold stare of some members are looking more like a blank face rather than a gaze. But overall I think they're really charismatic for a rookie group that is obviously open for improvement. No doubt in a few years they'll get even better. I'm gonna be for real with y'all. If I didn't do proper analysis and just base the rankings on what I knew, Kepler would have been the last. But thank God I didn't. Cause when I started watching more of their stages I realized how great they were at performing. One thing I noticed is that this group has full of energy. There isn't a single dull moment in their stages. You can almost feel their passion through the performances. A weakness I observed was their expressions. Some members have real weak expressions, but I think their energy makes up for it in some way. I also noticed the advantage of having more members. It makes the stage look less empty. There's more space to breathe each line. The formations can get creative, and many more. While I think they're not the greatest performers, I don't think anyone in this group underperforms. Each one has a strength they use efficiently and effectively. Singing could also be a bit better, but overall I think their stages are pleasant to watch. You'll definitely not get bored by it.
제일 높은 곳에 난 닿기 원해 눈에서 내 answer 내 혈관 속에 날뛰는 new wave 내 거대한 passion.
And lastly we have sserafim. Sserafim doesn't even look like a group of rookies. They straight up look like professionals in my eyes. I mean they got two experienced idols, a ballerina, a trained opera singer plus former survival show contestant, and a former dance academy member. You best believe you're about to witness a group full of performers. While most groups perform at 70 to 80%, this group performs at 90 to 100 at all times. I'm talking both singing and dancing, literally almost leaving them breathless after every stage. Let's talk about stage presence. Alright, they definitely have it. Even with just 5 members they can rock a huge stage by themselves. Their facial expressions are almost flawless in my opinion. They promoted 2 very different songs but they do both of them justice. And I think their biggest strength is no one outshines the other. While I do have my preferences in members, I think all of them performs with the best of their abilities. All in all it's almost flawless. That's not me exaggerating because I really believe so. It's one of the few times I'm impressed by a group's performance, and I can't wait to see more from them. Now if we take a look at the rankings individually, it's obvious each of these groups excel at something more than the others. But if we get the average rank of each group, this would be the final order. Kepler at last didn't surprise me. While I think they're capable they still could do so much better. For a group that was formed through a survival show I can understand the inconsistency in almost all aspects, which is why I hope to see better from them in the future. New Jeans being the youngest in career and literally in members, I think they put up a fair fight against their seniors. Everything about this group goes so well together. If it weren't for their young age and unnecessary lyrics they would definitely be a group that I'd stan. But other than that, the execution for the group was amazing, and I can't wait to see them grow to even better artists. This might be controversial but the ranking for IVE is pretty reasonable. If this was a popularity poll they easily could have won. But once you start to go deeper in analysis, while this group is also very skilled and talented, there's massive room for improvement. Even if they have released 3 Song of the Year contenders, that doesn't change the fact they're still a rookie group. NMIX only has one enemy, and that's JYP Entertainment. Everything about the production of this group is a mess, and I think that's a huge turn-off for a lot of fans. NMIX got potential to be the next big thing. The only thing stopping them is their company. Literally underutilizing the group's talents and skills for what? For experiments? Fuck you JYP, these girls deserve much better. But hey, they just debuted and are still surprisingly pretty popular, so it's not too late to change for the better. And lastly for the sserafim, the only words I got is to continue doing the same thing and improving. That was an impressive debut they had, all they gotta do now is just continue what they did. Setting a high bar right at your debut could be too demanding. But like I said, these girls are amazing and I'm sure they got it in them to continue getting better. And that's about it, that's my ranking for this wave of 4th gen girl groups. I also did a little community poll asking you the best of each category, and we definitely have some differences. I'd like to hear what your takes are down in the comments, if this video changed your mind or not, if you agree or not, let me hear it. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Thank you and goodbye.